那人家都说都捡了，也都捡得好。
我在巴黎，我在巴黎，已经到达。
我在全明星，巴黎，我来了。
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the English coverage of tonight's stream. We're going to hop into game number 1 of our second best of 2 series. I am Reed, I'm of course joined by Nero, and we'll be hopping into, like I said, it's game number 1, series number 2. It is LGD. They're your team in the blue on the left-hand side of your screen. Of course, they are taking on OMG. They're, of course, your team in the red on the right. So, Nero, tell us a little bit about these teams and what we can expect from this best of 2 series.
Well, there's 17 in LGD. He replaces Star at the moment. He's the guy that I talked about actually a little bit earlier today. He's the new guy because Star had a really narrow champion pool. He's there to bring a little bit of a refreshment into LGD's lineup. Of course, there's Whale is the very, very strong mid laner, but he's a little bit selfish. So there is a little bit of worries that he will not be the best player out there in the LGD. But up until now, LGD is just doing so well. A lot of people consider them like the dark horse of the LPL. They are really, really good. And, well, they're facing off OMG. Now is their chance to show what they are made of. And, well, PYL, he's the captain of the team. He had like a godlike Thresh when he was playing the first game in the LPL. He completely melted with his Thresh hooks. They were so incredible. On the other side, we have Drug, aka Alan. You already know that he's once again transferred into the jungle. So we'll see what he brings into the play. The previous time he played it was Braum in the jungle. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of good stuff coming into this game. And of course, Cool, he brought this heavy assassin kind of play back in here. When he played Zed, it's a champion that I haven't seen for a long time in the LPL, and I'm glad to see it coming back. And yeah, Cool is definitely showing a lot of good plays.
Yeah, but a couple of big things to talk about. All right, so OMG versus LGD. Something our analyst pointed out ahead of time, that OMG are actually 4-0 versus LGD. So there's not a lot to look forward to there as far as that's concerned. The other thing to look out for is that apparently I'm getting some mic echo, but we'll see if I can work on that. The other thing to look out for is that there's... what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, the OMG team comp that they ran last game, or last week, was the Braum Jungle. And that Braum Thresh double supports to protect their AD carry is just, it's something that doesn't necessarily quote unquote work, but it's a really, really innovative strategy. And to be honest, both of these teams very innovative, and we'll see what LGD as kind of a new team, like you said, trying out 17 for their top lane position. This is the LPL, this is the big leagues, and looking forward to seeing if he can step up to play versus OMG, who dominated last split and are still looking very good here in this one.
Yeah, so PYL, he's known for his Thresh and Sona. This time around, he will get to play Sona since Thresh got banned. But on the other side, also San, he's the only one to win a game with a Kog'Maw in the LPL. He had like the best possible showing on this Kog. He went 10-0-7, no deaths at all, perfect positioning. So we'll see what he decides to pick right here. Most probably Cool will be playing Yasuo in the mid lane, so I'm already hyped up for this match.
Exactly, and it doesn't get much more. When you think of Cool, you think of assassin champions. You think of Yasuo specifically, and more importantly, they've got going up in the top lane. Like, look at that guy. He picked Lulu, and then there's Nami, and then there's Jarvan, and there's just all of these knockups. This is a perfect wombo combo team composition for OMG. They're just gonna run at you 5v5, and there's not a whole lot you can do to stop them because you have or OMG have the tidal wave from Nami. They can force fights with Jarvan's Cataclysm and then just spray and pray you down while you're inside of that, and then do more knockups with Lulu. It's just such great synergy coming out of OMG. Now, that being said, they still have to win their individual lane matchups, and while Yasuo may be able to deal with Orianna in the mid lane, it's just really going to be awesome to watch. So we're going to hop here into game number 1, our second set of the night.
Yeah, so especially I love San on Twitch the most. and he got to play this Twitch once again, so we'll see how it works out. Of course, we have seen Twitch Nami today already. It worked out quite well, this Twitch coming out of ambush with the Tidecaller's Blessing. It's just incredible amounts of damage, so... Well, there's no Rengar this time around, though. But yeah, this will also be a good thing to see right here. We'll be hopping into the game. So Wayla's picked barrier into the middle lane for this Orianna. Have a lot of shields right there. And as you said, Yasuo versus Orianna in this middle lane will definitely be an interesting matchup, but in my opinion, cool.
And here we go. Let's go ahead and get into our first game of the second best of two series. We've waited an hour for it, and it's finally here. It's OMG. Oh my god, they are in the red team, and they will be taking on LGD. How about they will be your team in the blue on the left. I am Rapid. I'm here with Nero, and we will be your English casters for today. Of course, welcome to the English presentation of the LPL. Of course, brought to you in part by Games in Asia and Gosu Gamers. It's great to have you guys here along for the ride, and we're going to go ahead and hop into the game. Both teams about as safe as you can possibly start, just completely lined up along the river. And honestly, I don't see the safe start all that often. Oh, Quan actually going in onto Drug, but he is going to chase him back out there. Of course, if you guys are less familiar, Drug is Loveland or Alan, if you guys know him a little bit more by that name.
Yeah, okay, so there's still one thing that I want to add to the team's presentation. Cloud and 17, you may not recognize them, but Gogoing is still going aggressive onto Chuan. And this may be really dangerous for him, but he has the Yasuo, and there comes...
Cool. Just dove all the way inside there, and it was just Quan with horrible positioning. He walked up, and then Gogoing actually hit the Glitterlands. You know, all of a sudden, Lee Sin was a little bit sad. He blew his flash too there and still died. So Quan not in a very good spot. And this is actually going to change the level 1 strategy for OMG, having them go for a blue buff invade because Lee Sin's just not there to contest.
Okay, so Cloud and 17, they are the solo queue players. Not a lot of people recognize them. So 17 got into here in hopes of expanding the champion pool of LGD because Star was not really doing too well in this kind of an aspect. I think that he was supposed to be the AD carry early on. In the solo queue, he's a mid lane player, so that's kind of a versatile player out there. And yeah, Cloud, he's the support coming into OMG for this split. And on the GIA, on Games in Asia, on the site, we have an exclusive interview with him, so translated into English, of course. So if you would want to check it out, then go ahead and tune in there. But we are in the game. The first blood indeed went to OMG, and this will already be a big boost to them.
And it's not just the first blood went to OMG, it's that it went to Cool, who in that mid lane on one of his trademark champions is just devastatingly powerful. But now it's actually kind of interesting to see Drug and Going, they're actually going into the enemy jungle for some counter jungling, and because they're together, they can go wherever they want. They can also actually rotate up top lane through this red buff, take the red buff away, and now go for a 4v0 push on to that top lane turret. So OMG in a very good spot. Cloud is actually going to go back, and to be honest, I thought we were supposed to see a 4v0 up top lane, but with the support recalling, we'll see if they have other plans for him. Might actually go for a roam onto mid, because that's exactly what we're about to see from Quan and 17.
Well, just one member in the top lane is not going to attract the rest of the LGD's lineup, so I think it's still cool to leave Sun just free farming out there, and on top of that, he's a Twitch, so that's a popular thing that teams choose to go for. Just Twitch free farming and getting fed as quick as he can, and also switch the teams on the overlay because you have LGD on the red side.
Nope, we got it. It's good. I was expecting to start in the wrong order, so did fix that and put it on the right side. So big things to talk about so far is mid lane is about to get kind of exciting, and that's because there's 4 champions in it. Not something you would expect. Now you're actually having a 3-man Wraith Camp steal. I have not seen this strategy before. It's heavy counter jungling, but more importantly, look at this mid lane. There are literally, it's 4.5 minutes in, and Wallace is just going to get blown apart here. He gets taken down immediately, but actually, no, he's going to flash out. Cool's going to be able to chase him down, but Quan finds that kill. Now, 17's in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get chased back to his turret. No turret shots being taken, but now Drug actually going back and gets another knockup onto Quan. Solo Drug actually flashes out, and it's going to be Jax going to go down there as 17 falls. Going is in there, but just incredible plays. A 4v4 in the mid lane almost. And it's going to be OMG who come out ahead 4-1.
Yeah, it really was a 4v4. But, well, still the turret advantage goes for LGD. However, OMG will be pushing this one in the middle. They will not be able to take this one. And Son is not pushing at all. He's just farming in the top. So they lost this turret, but they don't really care at all. 4-1 at the moment. 3-1 in the whole exchange. That helps them a lot. And Cool grabbed yet another kill for himself.
This game is ridiculous. That was a 4-minute 4v4 in the mid lane. I don't know how both teams really reacted to that as accurately as they did, because really there was only ward coverage from OMG around there. They were completely unscouted, waiting around that mid lane just to gank for Cool. And Willis, what was he supposed to do against that? You don't expect the 4-man gank at 4 minutes into the game. This early rotation from OMG is just the craziest thing I've ever seen. This early aggression is actually something that LGD pioneered when they went for a couple of their really innovative big dive compositions, but this time it's OMG going for these very early dives and really catching LGD off guard.
Yeah, so to sum it up, the gank worked out because both mid laners went down as quick as possible, but then it turned into a big team fight and OMG came out on top of that. That's a bad thing for LGD, and yep, reminding you 4-0 in favor of OMG, of course, in the matches that they faced, so a lot of pressure on LGD.
Well, speaking of 4-0, we're going to see a 4v0 split push up top lane. It's not necessarily a split push when your entire team's there. So LGD will take down the first and second turrets of the game, as they did push down the bottom turret as well. So great rotations from them. They may not pick up champion kills, but they will be able to pick up these big global objectives. And I haven't taken out Dragon just yet, but turrets stay dead. Dragon will respawn, so it's going to stay up there for them to take afterwards. But big rotation to the top lane for OMG. They're going to come up here, and the turret actually still alive up there. Oh, Drug, he's looking for an engage opportunity. He will be the one leading the charge, gets the slow off from the Golden Ages right into Cool's ultimate. The last breath's going to get Cool up in there. Leap strike on out from 17, and LGD are in full retreat. We're going to see if Jarvan wants to go in. No flag and drag, just the Dragon Strike to push them away, and LGD actually don't get the second or the first tier top lane turret. They leave it alive, and now it's OMG who are going to look for even more off of a deep jungle invade.
It was a 4v3 in favor of LGD, but they still were losing big time, because just look at 17, he's level 3.
Oh, teleport gonna come in here as OMG. Drug's here to start the fight. Actually, might go down to Quan, who's gonna chase him off there to the side. Drug just desperately trying to stay alive. Gets the giant growth, and now Quan's the one in trouble. Has a full 5 men from OMG off to his side. Drug stays alive. He gets that support from Lulu, and this is gonna be a blue buff steal. Unless PL has something to say about it.
Yeah, so the big thing forcing the LGD's retreat back then is the Jax that had level 3. Of course, OMG had a level 3 on their side, but they don't care about support being so underleveled. And when this Jax can't really deal any damage and he's going down so quickly, it was a really bad fight for LGD. They backed away, but they still lost their members at the blue buff.
Well, with the blue buff going down, it's going to be relatively, I guess, passive from the mid lane, but the culling in the top lane going to go down. Peel is now in a lot of trouble, will be forced to flash away. I think that was supposed to be a little bit more exciting, but all it was Peel blowing his flash as Going showed up in the top lane. And actually re-engaging off the Glitter Lance, some damage to come back. Peel continuing to disengage, but Going just being really annoying up top.
Yeah, so even though San got left out in the top lane to free farm for the whole game, until now, he still is behind in farm to Lucian, who got all the turrets, which is a little bit of a bad thing. But he has 2 kills, definitely helps him out. He'll be going for this Blade of Ruin King as soon as possible. Let's just check how much gold he has in his pockets. Yeah, it's 1,100. He'll be going back in a while. Still needs to gather up a little bit more. But this time he has his support out there. So Cloud will be gaining more levels. And finally 17. He is level 5. So now he'll be a little bit more useful to a team if the fight should happen. Because Going was already level 6 and you could have seen this giant Jarvan standing on top of Chuan and then killing him in the end.
To be honest, the most impressive thing for me so far is not necessarily anybody who's picking up kills, but just to see Drug and how brave he is. Starting off the fight, he was in there for the level 1, and even for that big 4-man dive in the mid lane, he engaged twice. He got 2 cooldowns off of his engagement, the knock up from the flag and drag, and he's just been tearing LGD apart. Even though he's not picking up all the kills, he's helping the rest of his team get them. And you can see a full 6 assists on to Going. He's been in every single one of these kills, and even though he hasn't picked up any one of them, he's fulfilling his role as a support champion, even though he's in the top lane.
Yeah, so 100 kill participation, that's what I wanted to point out before, and that is really huge. So now OMG will be looking for this dragon finally, and I actually wanted to say when LGD was pushing up the top with 4 people, this was a perfect opportunity for OMG to go for the dragon because they already had the kills advantage. I was kind of surprised that they didn't go for it, but they still picked up a successful fight for themselves and actually prevented the turret from going down, and now they have the Dragon Pit domination. So that's what they needed. Because if LGD take this dragon, this is actually going to be a pretty close game, still in gold.
Yeah, it's important to notice that gold from killing champions is great and everything, but global objectives actually give you a lot more bang for your buck. 2 turrets to 0, and bubble on to Peel. Nobody there to save him. Double knockups there, and it's Drug finally finding a kill for himself. His 2nd kill of the game and the 7th overall for OMG.
Yeah, PYL going down right there. He wasn't even level 6, so no crescendo available. This will be a free dragon for OMG. 7-1. The kill, yeah, indeed, they just give you maybe 1, maybe 2 man gold because the kill and the assists, but well, if you are losing so many kills, then it gets really big. And look at the kill distribution. There's 2 on the jungler, 2 on the mid laner, 2 on the AD carry, so the whole team of OMG is going to be crushing.
Oh, but now it actually might be 17, able to leap strike away from that Aqua Prism. But Going, like, he's almost a better support than Cloud, because Cloud's actually taken a kill, and he's down 1 in 100% kill participation. Going's just been absolutely everywhere. And that's a testament to this trademark, not necessarily LPL style of play, but to what OMG are doing right now. They're not actually ever trying to kill you one-on-one. I feel like in like North American and European LCS, there's a lot of focus on winning your lane matchup by killing your opponent 1v1. Mid lane though, there's a lot of damage down on as well as command shockwaves there, but it's not going to keep him alive. Or will it? The poison ticking down. Orianna will fall. It's San. Pick up
and it's
kill.
A wasted shockwave, flash, barrier, and everything right there. And he still went down to the poison. That is really unfortunate for Whalers. And well, actually, patience right here. That's the word that you could use. LGD going for the rush turrets early on with 4 members pushes. OMG don't care. They took the kills, the easy ones. They took the dragon. Now they took the first turret. The second one will follow in just a second. And they're still leading in gold. So patience, summoners.
This is almost like even from or as early as season 2 or season 3 in the Chinese scene, where it was never about just 1v1. It was about huge dives. It was about just grouping up as quickly as you possibly could and just forcing your opponents to fight you. And that's exactly what Drug's done all game long, and he's had going there for backup every single kill along the way. You can see there's nobody in a solo lane right now. I mean, there's cool top lane, but he has the entire rest of his team coming to him. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, Going isn't trying to fight. He's just wave clearing, just pushing things out there, and drawing pressure mid. He's 1v3, 1v4 almost right now, and that's a free turret for OMG in the top lane.
Yeah, so when the game started to crumble for LGD, it was this 4v4 in the middle lane, the double gank. So they didn't manage to pull it off completely right there, and now they have to struggle to come back into the game. They have the objectives, of course. Well, they can't really kill too many of the people out there. They just killed cool ones, and then there comes Sun with 3-0. There comes the 100 kill participation going. It is going to crush you later on. The Twitch with the wild growth is definitely going to be scary.
Alright, well, talking about things that are scary. Oh, actually, a nice blue buff steal away. Quan will steal the blue from OMG, so a small victory. But more importantly, look at where LGD are walking into. They're going into their lower jungle, and every single part of that is warded. You have two big wards that'll scout out their entire team. LGD are just in the spotlight right now. They have nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, and OMG just have perfect coverage. Look at the deep wards everywhere across the map, maybe with the exception of that upper jungle, but they don't even need to go there right now because they've already taken down all 3 outer turrets. They can either just wait for dragon respawn or group up and make a solid push through that heavily warded lower jungle.
But it's LPL. The Baron is there already. Well,
it's 15 minutes into the game, it's just spawned, and it's still a factor.
Yeah, definitely. And LPL, you can expect everything. Like 4v4 in the middle lane at 5th minute in the game, no problem. So they can.
It wasn't even
we can
15
even
minutes.
expect...
It was like 4 minutes in, and you get 4-man ganked. Like, how much of a struggle is that? I mean, you kind of just have to like feel sorry for Wellless. Like, who expects ganks like that?
Yeah, exactly. So there's still a little bit of grouping around the top lane. Look at OMG. They're gathering up right there. They will going for a kill onto 17 actually. Drug gets spotted by a ward.
Not just incredible team play, but individual play as well. You can see 3 kills stacking up onto San, and you said earlier he had the only flawless Kog'Maw game previously with that Braum Yasuo, or the Braum Thresh composition. And I don't know, he doesn't like dying apparently. He's deathless so far at 3-0 and 0, and I guess the only guy with a death is Cool, although he did take one for the team and really allow them to group up. Now Quan actually might be in a little bit of trouble. Immediate flash over the wall. He tried to walk around that corner, and immediately 4 people from OMG there to greet him.
Okay, so they're already warding up the top side of the jungle quite heavily. There's like 3 pink wards around there already. And it's definitely going to be quite big. Cool, clearing out the wards for LGD, and he's going for the bottom lane. This may be a Yasuo versus Lucian 1v1 in the bot. Actually, PYL will help out his AD carry to not get killed.
Just putting on some pressure, going aggressive, or going aggressive if you want to look at it that way. And OMG are just camped out. They're like, hey, we've got a jungle, but it's not as cool as your jungle, so we're going to hang out here if that's okay. LGD, they're trying to stay safe by their bottom lane turret, but that turret's not going to protect them at all. San's going to stealth up here. He's going to go into the bush, and oh, VXQ is so dead. I mean, I say that, but he's going to get a safeguard. The Ignite's not going to tick down, and OMG are going to forego the champion kill for the turret kill. Their 4th turret of the game.
Yeah, no worries. It's not like UZI. Sun is not going to chase for the kill. They are just turning around and going for the turret. Once again, patience. OMG is just so experienced. They know everything that they need to do. They do not make mistakes. As simple as that.
This is starting to get a little bit crazy. XQ had a nice escape there, but he was running away. Like, running away is great if you can get away alive, but you have to eventually kill your opponents, and he's not in a position anywhere near accomplishing that. Dragon will go down here, second dragon of the game, of course, and that will be a total of 6 global objectives there for OMG. Now, they have lost 3 turrets, but oh, cool there, trying to take on 17 and flashing away from the knock up there from the Steel Tempest. Cool. Putting on pressure all across the map.
Yeah, so Flash is burned over and over again from everyone. XQ, Chuan in the jungle, 17 right now. Well, if LGD runs out of summoner spells, this may be really tough for them the next time the fight happens.
You were talking about the Baron earlier, Nero. You can see Cloud. He's putting up wards around it. He's got perfect Baron control, pink wards, green wards, the whole 9 yards. They're all around the Baron pit. So OMG, if they win this next fight, they can just press through, and they probably will. But then they can always have the option of backing off and just taking down Baron. There is 1 green ward that did just survive, but it's not, it actually just died. So 0 ward coverage around that Baron area for LGD.
Yeah, so 22nd minute you can expect some kind of a Baron dance starting in LPL, but we'll see. OMG, they have a huge control of the lanes. They took down a lot of turrets already, so they don't really have to worry about the Baron just yet. They have the gold lead, they have the kill lead, and 4 versus 17 in the top lane. A little bit of fighting. The flash is burned, form 17 though, and Cole will go aggressive right here, knocks him up, gets the ultimate, and 17 will be trying to run away, but will he manage to do that? Drug comes in from behind. This will be an easy kill for Cool.
Yeah, it doesn't get much easier than that. Cool had a nice 1v1. He did flash in for it, but hey, it's a summoner spell used to pick up a kill, and the lack of a Jax may signal OMG to at least start this Baron. You know, I'm not sure exactly where. Oh, Peel. He's gonna land a nice ultimate, and there's actually Lee Sin going deep into the back. Tidal Wave for the knockup. Cataclysm's down, but Drug is right there, looking for Quan over the wall. Quan's gonna go over there, and it's actually Sand to take him down, narrowly surviving. Going actually will die there in the back. Cool's very, very low. He's gonna dive in, find a kill, but go down himself. And it's a 2 for 2 actually, with LGD now on the aggressive.
Yeah, that was the jungler down. They could have gone for at least some kind of a Baron dance or some kind of a bait right there, but they still went for the kills, and that's where they made a mistake. Actually, this may be an inner turret for LGD. Being a tasty thing for them.
A nice expunge there from San. He's gonna clear out the minion wave. They're just actually gonna tank this turret up just a little bit, as LGD really want to take this one down. Nice usage of shields and trade tanking will be able to take it down, and that's actually tying things up in the turret count at 4 to 4. Now, of course, LGD still very far behind. They're down about 4,000 or 6,000 gold, if you want to look at it that way, but still about 5,000 gold. Man, the math is not on point tonight, but LGD have a long way to come back, but they are keeping it even in global objectives.
Yeah, so I think that Willis even used his barrier right there, tanking up the turret. They got it though. That is definitely a good thing. 4 to 4 in turrets. They're still keeping up in this one at least. But they need to... I know what they need to do to come back in gold completely right now, because I don't think that OMG will lose like
a 5
for
Bubble on
nothing
the
fight.
peel. He is pretty dead right now, even with the Tidecaller's blessing coming on. Going finds his first kill of the game after 8 assists in a row, and even though he doesn't have full kill participation anymore, he still has a great score. And well, there's his first kill as a reward for that. Cool in the bottom lane in a 1v2. Wind Slash is out there, gets the Way of the Wanderer, passive refreshed off the last breath, but it's just not enough. 1v2s don't quite work out, and Cool will find his third death of the game.
Q had to use his heal though. That's a little bit of a wasted summoner spell. And on the other side there was the ignite too, so well, 1 for 1 in the summoner spells, but LGD take a kill for themselves, and that's what they need to look out for. They need to grab the picks for themselves, but not in exchange for PYL. The support needs to stay alive. They need to get 1 for nothing. Not a 1 for 1, because it doesn't profit them at all.
Well, this is there with XQ, and they're going to go in onto San, but he will stealth out there. Keep in mind, this is the pre-nerfed Twitch, so if he takes damage while he's trying to stealth, it only takes him 3 seconds to stealth instead of now 6 in patch 4.10. So I was able to get out of there without being in any real danger. It's still 4-12, and to be honest, Wellness, I guess he kind of started the snowball rolling for his team. He got 4-man gank, but that was off of playing actually pretty greedy, which is actually a trend that he's shown over the course of this season. LGD have done some sizable revamps to their roster, but it's still the same weaknesses there, especially for Wellness, continuing to play greedy, and it's gotten him 0-3 so far.
Yeah, so talking about Gogoing being a better support than Cloud, actually, with all the 100% kill participation in that, he now has 1 death more than Cloud, so Cloud finally is the better support right now.
He also has 187 CS more too, so maybe that's a good contribution to the team too. He got death cap after that Athene's Unholy Grail, and he is he's actually further ahead than Wellness, even though he's been picking up nothing but assists all game. He's got a team there to back him up. Attempt at the steal there, but Quan's got the smite. Grabs the blue buff there for LGD and keeps Drug off the back of it. But OMG, they're looking on towards Baron. They're in the pit, and they will out all the ward coverage, which means LGD will have to come check this Baron if they do want to contest it.
And it's not a LeBlanc support, so there is danger of going down for a ward. And also I think that I want to point out, Drug needs to get the Wild Growth kind of a EQ jump in. That is a really huge engage that we haven't seen really after this 4v4 in the middle lane really early in the game, but that is a huge power in OMG's pocket. If they manage to throw out an EQ on Drug with the Wild Growth, this is going to screw up the whole lineup of LGD.
There's Dragon number 3 going down there for OMG. 3rd Dragon in a row for them, and they're just locking that one down. You can see consistently grabbing these global objectives, and while they haven't managed to push down another turret in the last 5 minutes, they have managed to pick up a couple of dragons and at least keep things even in the turret count. They're tripling LGD and kills off of some just 5-man League of Legends, run around, roaming Death Squad, and just killing absolutely everything. Wellness has gotten the worst of that deal, and you can see him building on towards either a Zhonya's Hourglass or maybe a Death Cap next. It's a little bit unsure. The build is kind of stuck in between a Seeker's Arm Guard and a Blasting Wand.
If you watch the previous splits, of course, all of you guys, you may recognize LGD having a different middle laner and different top laner and AD carry, but actually everyone was talking about STYZ and PYL in the bottom lane being the best bottom lane in China and carrying LGD to victories, and everyone was afraid of what LGD will be like after STYZ got banned. So XQ is definitely an impressive guy. Just look at it. It's 12 kills in favor of OMG, and he still manages to not die.
Oh, Tidal Wave's gonna come out, and there's the last breath off just the tip of the Tidal Wave. It's actually gonna be cool, getting blown up as he dives way too deep in here. A dunk over the wall there from Drug, tries to kill off Quan, but he will flash himself to safety. And this is actually LGD turning this fight around. San is huge, and he's very, very powerful in the backline of the fight, without the rest of his team to help him out. This is actually LGD now, who may just start this Baron. Quan very low, and San still very strong, so LGD will have to be careful, but a 2-for-0 exchange in their favor means that there's still signs of life from the blue team.
Yeah, and once again, look at XQ. He was kind of in the front line, just relentless pursuit inside to the fight to try and catch someone out off guard right there in OMG. He doesn't even need his mobile abilities to keep himself in safety. His positioning is definitely superior right here.
And like you were saying, best bottom lane in China, I don't know about that, but Peel had a perfect peel for his AD carry. Crescendo right on top of Cool as soon as he dove that back line, and XQ just blew him up. There's no questions asked. It was a great pick onto Cool, and then of course Cloud dying there. It was now a death for both supports. We can put it that way, as Going and Cloud both going down. So maybe some signs of mortality from OMG. They've been looking very godlike, now maybe demi-godlike. As teamfight win there for LGD does get them back at least a little bit.
But once again, it's just a standard LPL play. They were trying to go for a Baron, and they threw it at the Baron. So that's what happens in every second game right here. But still, it wasn't a throw at the Baron itself, it was just a team fight right there. So That is still yet to come. Well, LGD, they took 2 kills, but it still doesn't come back into the game. They still are losing by 6k gold. So can't really find a way into the game. And Cole, he's still going 1v3, no problem.
And well, he's got backup from San, who's gonna get a lot of expunge damage down. Cool is like he's the mid lane version of UZI. He's just like, what's that? I have the potential to go in on 3 champions. Better hit the button. He's going in, and he does find a good last breath, but not able to find anything else.
He's 4 to 4 to 4. He has 4 deaths already, and we can see it like multiple times in this game already. Several times he just jumped in. Sometimes died, sometimes picked up a kill, but he's just going in aggressively. Just as you said, like UZI, he doesn't really care about going down. He's going in.
That's I'm really excited to see the solution lane. Maybe not the solution to the problems that LGD has, but it is a lane that's working out very well. Arguably better than any of their other lanes. Although, you do have a Trinity Force and Blade of the Ruined King completed onto 17. So while we were kind of questioning whether or not he was going to be very good up there in the top lane, he's positive score and very strong right now, and that is a source of strength that LGD desperately need, because we're coming up onto the 30-minute mark, and you know what that means, Nero. It's time for a Baron dance. OMG very grouped up here. They've got the Wombo Combo team comp. Can they catch it out onto LGD?
Yeah, so 17, he was not really a bad player. His problem was just being under-leveled in the early fights, which costed LGD the fights in themselves. So he definitely is doing well right now, trying to get back in there. OMG, they have the advantage. They have a lot of vision coverage, so they will be doing a little bit better in this Baron fight.
And well, now it's all about Baron. You've got in the back line San and Cool trying to do it 2-man. They got help from going, but I'm pretty sure LGD know about this. They just know about it too late. They're not going to go for that. Quan sees what's up, but he can't even go in there for the Smite Steal. Bottom lane, it was 17, but he didn't have teleport up, and I think that's exactly what we were talking about, just a little bit unproven as far as his position here on the team. A little bit new, and he was bottom lane with no TP, and so LGD couldn't even go in there to contest the Baron. Free Baron buff here for OMG.
Yeah, and everyone has it. No one died as of yet. Maybe looking for some kind of a pick. Maybe Cole will go for a 1v3 once again. Seems like they will just be going for the inner turret in the middle lane.
Going in the top lane, continuing to push that out there. Quan very vulnerable, but excuse there to wave clear with the culling. Minions didn't even stand a chance, but that top lane second tier turret is starting to drop pretty low. OMG definitely setting their sights up there on the top lane, while meanwhile in the mid lane, Cool's just gonna work down the turret. He's just catching LGD out of position. Their rotations are just not looking as smooth, and we'll take a free turret because of it.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So OMG just taking one after another, bringing down the structures. It's coming down to them having the Baron buff and having all inner turrets for themselves. That's just really huge. They will just be looking for a pick and maybe once again for a finisher to the game, because the previous one ended like so quickly. One Baron fight and they just finished the game straight away after that. So that may be the case once again. If they catch someone off guard, this may once again be the end. So LGD, they have to watch out.
But first they have to grab another dragon. It's like, well, I could win the game, but first, let me take a dragon. And so they did take that one down. 100% dragons for OMG, and you can just see that in the gold count. They're up about 11,000 gold here at the 30-minute mark, and now they're just trying to set up a death bush. They want to be able to sweep all this out. They should sweep that brush, but they actually, oh yeah, there it is. Finally realizing there's a ward there. Tidal wave's gonna go out. It doesn't hit, okay. Well, you know, I often think to myself, you hear about like disaster in foreign islands when they get hit by tidal waves, but honestly, I'm sure there are a bunch of tidal waves that just don't hit anything. And I'm sure they're super scary, but not really all that damaging. I think that's what we just saw there from Cloud. And sometimes it's about sending a message, you know.
Yeah, so the tidal waves don't really hit China too much. That's what we can say from LPL. Like really, the Namis usually miss the tidal waves right here. When I saw the Braum support too, there was like one hit Glacial Fissure throughout the whole game. Everything missed. Because they are trying to go for the aggressive ultimates like that. They are usually used to disengage or to engage in a narrow corridor. But, well, in China, they are just seeing one person. They're going for the Nami tidal wave. And they usually miss because it's like the max range tidal wave. Supposed to be.
Well, hey, Cloud has hit those max range tidal waves this game, so even though he did miss one, he was able to get Cool the engage, but it was actually, he gave Cool the engage that lost them their fight versus LGD, the 2-for-0 exchange, so when he hits them, they don't work out. When he misses them, well, they still don't work out, so like you said, a little bit hit or miss there from Cloud so far. He will be doing a great job helping his team clear out ward coverage through that upper half of the jungle. Still one pink ward surviving there. It has an auto attack down on it, so LGD know that it's been spotted, but I guess it's going to stay alive for a little bit longer. And then finally, it's going to probably be San to clear it out when he backs up off this wolf camp.
Yeah, so still, the Baron buff will run out. Actually, it has run out already. So they will be waiting for another one most probably before they finish the game. So that's the thing that we'll be looking forward to. The Baron timer. LGD, they're extremely cautious right now. I don't expect them going down.
San in the top lane, he's stealthing things up, just narrowly escaping there from 17. 17 is actually ridiculously strong right now, and oh, San might actually be in a little bit of trouble. Does manage to get out of the way. San right now is incredibly stacked. He's got 3 completed items, Phantom Dancer, Blade of the Ruined King, and of course the Youmuu's Ghost Blade. This isn't even the next patch. This is 4.9. He's still going for that Ghost Blade Bork build, and it's working out pretty well. 4-0-2, San's still yet to die.
Yeah, he has a BF sword. He'll be just gathering up a little bit more gold. He has 700 at the moment. So yeah, he'll just be finishing off this BF sword, then going for the Baron because the timer is already up. And most probably OMG will be looking for a fight then.
Well, OMG, they've been able to pick pretty good fights here, mostly off of Drug, and so you're going to see him be the big frontliner. And what's impressive to me is that, you know, Yasuo, he goes deep into the fight and he's died 4 times, so maybe that's to be expected. But Jarvan does the same thing, and Drug hasn't died yet this game. That's pretty hard to do, and he has managed to do it very, very well. Been involved in, of course, 8 out of 12 of his team's kills. I think that's 3/4 of the kills, so I'd be pretty happy about me and my math there. Teleport in's coming in from the back line. A nice flank set up by 17. So he will catch out onto Cool. Cool trying to kite backwards. Will get knocked up. He's looking for a knock-up to go in onto that. 17 does get knocked up there by the last breath, and he will get taken down. Cool assassinating him from the back lines. Well as trying to escape there, gets slowed out by the Glitterlands. Flash over, and there's the knock-up. Nice crescendo there by Peel, desperately trying to stay alive. Cool dashing through. Will find one. He finds another one, and it's Cool just destroying the team. A triple kill as OMG living up to their names now as they crush down LGD's base.
Yeah, so once again, a big fight leading to just the Nexus falling down. No slow pushing on the inhibitors and stuff like that. But before Baron, that's a surprising thing.
Apparently my fractions were slightly off there. It was 2/3, not 3/4, because math is a difficult subject. But you know what's also difficult? It's beating OMG as they look very dominant. 17-7 here in the end of game number 1 of this best of 3, keep in mind. So that'll actually put OMG at least 1 point closer to tying up World Elite and Starhorn Royal Club. They were actually are currently tied at 8 points for first place. OMG need 1 more win to get it there. We'll see if they can get it when we get into our second game of this best of 2 series. So in the meantime, we're going to take a little bit of a break to get into our second series here, and do want to thank everybody for joining us. If you have enjoyed tonight's coverage of the LPL in English, of course, it's brought to you guys by Gosu Gamers and Games in Asia, of course, made possible by our friends at Twitch. So make sure to check out the links right down below the screen. It'll give you more information on Games in Asia, Gosu Gamers, and then, of course, the LPL as a whole. If you're new to LPL, we want to welcome you, and thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure to talk with you guys about the games tonight, and of course, Nero and I really appreciate everybody watching.
Yep, of course. And also you can check out our social media like Twitter's. It's at RapidCasting and at NeroIntegrate1. Of course, also remember that this table that you can see on the... Actually, it's not a table. It's standings that you can see on your screen are not updated with the today's games. So Starhorn is now tied with World Lead for the first place.
All right, so we'll be taking a little bit of a break here, so enjoy the video. We'll throw this one up, and we'll be right back with game number 2 here between not Starhorn, but it'll be OMG. They'll be taking on LGD. Game 2 coming up next when we return.
好，各位观众，我们又见面了。经过一个赛季的沉淀以后，英雄代言人又回来了。先来欢迎一下今天的2位职业选手，就是姿态还有玉米，欢迎欢迎欢迎。这个姿态毕竟作为 LPL 的老大哥级人物了，你应该是 S2AP 到现在为止唯一一个剩下的人。玉米现在是刚打到 LPL 嘛？
对，
就是刚加入到皇族，
刚加入的。
现在我觉得表现还不错，毕竟上一个赛季其实皇族小狗在退回去以后 ，NCT 打中单的时候，就感觉 NCT 中单没有什么特别的，就是特点。那其实说到这里，还有一个可能大家很关注的问题，就是现在2支队伍里面都融入了韩国选手。你觉得和 Invictus 做队友的感觉怎么样？
还好吧？
还好是什么意思？不要这么腼腆。
看他玩，感觉挺犀利的。
但你那天输给老干爹了。
对，还是输的。
因为这毕竟是这 Invictus LPL 第一场亮相，然后就被什么淘宝拳拿个盲僧，各种回旋踢，
挺尴尬的。
韩国人有没有急？
He brings into the play. The previous time he played it was Braum in the jungle, so yeah, there's definitely a lot of good stuff coming into this game. And of course, Cool, he brought this heavy assassin kind of play back in here. When he played Zed, it's a champion that I haven't seen for a long time in the LPL, and I'm glad to see it coming back. And yeah, Cool is definitely showing a lot of good plays.
Yeah, but a couple of big things to talk about. All right, so OMG versus LGD. Something our analyst pointed out ahead of time, that OMG are actually 4-0 versus LGD. So there's not a lot to look forward to there as far as that's concerned. The other thing to look out for is that... apparently I'm getting some mic echo, but we'll see if I can work on that. The other thing to look out for is that there's... what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the OMG team comp that they ran last game, or last week, was the Braum Jungle. And that Braum Thresh double supports to protect their AD carry is just, it's something that doesn't necessarily quote unquote work, but it's a really, really innovative strategy. And to be honest, both of these teams very innovative, and we'll see what LGD as kind of a new team, like you said, trying out 17 for their top lane position. This is the LPL, this is the big leagues, and looking forward to seeing if he can step up to play versus OMG, who dominated last split and are still looking very good here in this one.
Yeah, so PYL, he's known for his Thresh and Sona. This time around, he will get to play Sona since Thresh got banned. But on the other side, also San, he's the only one to win a game with a Kog'Maw in the LPL. He had like the best possible showing on this Kog. He went 10-0-7, no deaths at all, perfect positioning. So we'll see what he decides to pick right here. Most probably Cool will be playing Yasuo in the mid lane, so I'm already hyped up for this match.
Exactly, and it doesn't get much more. When you think of cool, you think of assassin champions. You think of Yasuo specifically, and more importantly, they've got going up in the top lane. Like, look at that guy. He picked Lulu, and then there's Nami, and then there's Jarvan, and there's just all of these knockups. This is a perfect, perfect wombo combo team composition for OMG. They're just gonna run at you 5v5, and there's not a whole lot you can do to stop them because you have, or OMG have the tidal wave from Nami. They can force fights with Jarvan's Cataclysm and then just spray and pray you down while you're inside of that, and then do more knockups with Lulu. It's just such great synergy coming out of OMG. Now that being said, they still have
人家都说都捡了，也都捡得好。
我在巴黎，我在巴黎，已经到达。
我在全明星，巴黎，我来了。
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the English coverage of tonight's stream. We're going to hop into game number 1 of our second best of 2 series. I am Reed, I'm of course joined by Nero, and we'll be hopping into, like I said, it's game number 1, series number 2. It is LGD. They're your team in the blue on the left-hand side of your screen. Of course, they are taking on OMG. They're, of course, your team in the red on the right. So, Nero, tell us a little bit about these teams and what we can expect from this best of 2 series.
Well, there's 17 in LGD. He replaces Star at the moment. He's the guy that I talked about actually a little bit earlier today. He's the new guy because Star was like, had a really narrow champion pool. He's there to bring a little bit of a refreshment into LGD's lineup. Of course, there's Whale is the very, very strong mid laner, but he's a little bit selfish. So there is a little bit of worries that he will not be the best player out there in the LGD. But up until now, LGD is just doing so well. A lot of people consider them like the dark horse of the LPL. They are really, really good. And, well, they're facing off OMG. Now is their chance to show what they are made of. And, well, PYL, he's the captain of the team. He had like a godlike Thresh when he was playing the first game in the LPL. He completely melted with his Thresh hooks. They were so incredible. On the other side, we have Drug, aka Alan. You already know that he's already... he's once again transferred into the jungle, so we'll see what he